Hi everyone, welcome back to Earl Grey Books. I'm Ellie. You can see a little bit of Percy's head here. I'm here today to do a try a chapter tag, and I'm going to do it with 6 fantasy YA and adult. I had to have a look then that I have picked off my shelves a couple of months ago and was like, oh, do I really want these ones? Do I want these? Like, I kind of want them, but like, do I want them? So today I thought it would be a good idea to try the first chapter or the first little bit of each of these and see whether I want to keep them and I think I might continue them, or I decide that I don't want them at all and I unhaul them. So, let me talk you through which ones I have picked out. Now, I did some digging and I believe the original creator of this is, let me bring this so I can read their name, Malia Moonshadow. So I'll link that original video down below. So I think I actually bought all of these last year, maybe at the end of 2020. But I think they were all from 2021. So obviously getting through them would also mark off some things from my haul revisits or deciding to unhaul them. So let's go through them. I'm going to give you some, I guess, initial thoughts, pre-reading thoughts on them, whether I think I'll enjoy them or not. And then I will go read them. And then we will pop back and I will let you know which ones I have decided to continue, which ones I have decided not to. So, we have Witherward by Hannah Matthewson. I honestly don't really remember what this one is about at all. I just know that it's set in London because it's got Big Ben there, and I think it's like an alternate London. I don't know, it says something on the back of here. It's summertime in February, and it's like, yeah, it is summertime in February. If you live in the Southern Hemisphere, that's not that different. So I'm gonna give that one a go. I honestly don't really know what to think about this one. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. So there we go. I have The Keeper of the Night by Kylie Lee Baker, which I put on my Make Me Read TBR, which it didn't make it into the list. This one is also set in London, but I believe the main character, yes, is half British, half Japanese, and she goes back to Japan and she's some kind of reaper and a Shinigami? I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that, but it is a Japanese mythological figure, I think. Anyway, this one, I again don't really know a whole lot about any of these, but I am still interested in this one. The cover is really intriguing. I know it just looks like a sort of standard girl on the cover, but it's like illustrated in a really interesting way where it's like, it's almost like thread, like strands of thread make up her hair and her face and her like I don't know what these are called, but her like outfit and even like the lights in the background. It's just a really interesting illustration. Okay, next one is A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. This is a half fae thing. That's a really great description. Yeah, again, I really don't know anything about this one. It has a very interesting cover. I don't know if this thing here is a wing you can't really see, but it's like creepy. It's like made of like bones. And these almost look like really stretched out fingers. It's a little creepy. And it says nothing is more dangerous than a fairy tale. So I kind of want to know what that means, but I also don't have very high expectations of this one. From memory, it doesn't have a very good average rating on Goodreads. And like, I try not to look at those because I have found some fantastic books that have very low ratings, but that's definitely a rarity. Like, a lot of the time, if it has a low rating, it's for a reason. So I'm gonna give it a go, but I'm keeping my expectations low. Next, I have Threadneedle by Carrie Thomas, which is also set in an alternate London, which is a thing, I believe, in fantasy. I'm not sure. I feel like it's sort of very much inspired by like Neil Gaiman and V.E. Schwab, who have both done that and are both very popular for that kind of story. So I wonder if that's kind of where this has come from. I believe that this one is something to do with magic, and I don't know, I'm going to suggest something to do with thread and, I don't know, like needlepoint or something, based on the cover and the fact that there is in fact a needle here, and obviously the title. Next is Shielded by Kaylin Flanders. I think this one is fantasy. I'm not even sure. I think it follows a princess who wants to be on the battlefield but is instead kind of sent, or yeah, she's kind of sent off to be married to this prince from a different kingdom. This one I am really excited for. Again, I don't really know anything about it, but I just love the cover. The cover is giving me vibes, and it's one that I've been meaning to pick up probably for about 2 months since I took it off my shelf, and I just keep being like, okay, well, I'll do that next week, and then I end up doing readathons and other things, and I just haven't fit this in. But today's the day. I hope I like it. And then finally, I have These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan, which is another fae fantasy, fae story. I don't really know. I have started this one before. I read the first little bit and I didn't really like it, but I was kind of determined to give it more of a go. I've taken out that bookmark that I'd originally put in there, so I'm going to be starting from the start again, and we'll see if this time it grabs me a little more. So those are the ones just there. I'm going to go give them a read, and I will be back maybe in a few hours. I'm not really sure. We'll see how long this takes me, and I'll let you know what I'm thinking of them. Okay, I think it's been about an hour and I am back. Percy has left us. Fletcher came to say hi for a minute, but he's also gone now. But I have made quite the decision, I think. I'm going to unhaul 4 of them. I read them all. Some of them I didn't even make it through the first chapter of, and I was like, yeah, no, this isn't for me. So let me start with those ones. So first up, Keeper of the Night. I think this could have been really interesting, but then I started it and I was just reminded of how I felt trying to read Scythe by Neil Shusterman, which also, as I'm sure many of you know, also kind of follows this idea of the Reaper. The thing for me is that I find that a really difficult topic to read about. I really struggle with grief, and yeah, I've lost most of my family, and I really struggle with reading about reapers for some reason, it just makes me feel very uncomfortable, and I feel very panicked reading about it, and I don't really know why, because it obviously isn't like a trauma response, because, you know, reapers don't exist. So it's not like I specifically lost family from that. So I don't really know what that's about. But just the whole idea of it just freaks me out. And it's not something that I'm overly aware of until I go to read it, and then I'm like, oh shit, I can't do this. So I think that I might actually pass this on to someone, because I feel like other people might really enjoy this, but my mental health is already fragile, and I do not need anything pushing me over the edge. Next up, how I dropped that is Witherward. I don't know, I opened this, and in the first sort of section here, there is like a breakdown of the different groups, and I read this and I was like, this sounds pretty much exactly like the Bone Shadow. The Bone Shadow? The Bone Season. And that's one of my favorite series, but I don't really care about reading it again. Like, I will just read the books in the series. I don't need to read another book. And that might be totally unfair, but yeah, I read the first bit and I was just like, nope, this isn't really doing anything for me. I'm just gonna, whether it's fair or not, I'm gonna spend the entire time thinking of the Bone Season. So I'm gonna unhaul this one as well. Okay, Dark and Hollow Star. I don't know about this one. The first chapter was interesting, but then I don't know. I already just feel like there's a whole bunch at the start here where the author has given some content warnings, which I love. Should be in every book, honestly. But some of these things I'm just like, I don't know that I can deal with that. And also this just has like, it's a reasonably large book and it has like super tiny writing, and I'm not good with small writing. So I think I'm gonna put this one actually back onto my shelves. Am I gonna do that? Is that a stupid thing to do? I don't know. I'm still just feeling a little bit conflicted about this one. So I feel like maybe, I don't know, I might consider putting this back onto my shelves. Sorry, the boys are playing. For, I don't know, do I put it back on my shelves? Do I just unhaul it? I don't know. Well, I'll make a decision in the next week or so, and then you may see it in my next unhaul, or you may not. And then finally for the unhauls, these Hollow Vows. I didn't even get through this one. I opened it to the first page. Well, actually first I opened it to the map and I was like, yeah, that's a pretty cool map. That looks interesting. And then, yeah, I opened it to the first page and I was like, wow, I don't care. So, yeah, I should have unhauled this when I first read it and immediately didn't like it, because it was the same problem with the writing of like, this doesn't grab me at all. And I can't be bothered sitting through a book with writing that annoys me. Yeah, so goodbye. But it does mean that I have two that I did like. So we'll start with Threadneedle, because I read this for one, I've got to mention this because the map in here is absolutely gorgeous. It is a map of London, but it's done as like a tapestry. It's so cool, like genuinely beautiful. Love that. I do feel a bit conflicted about this one as well. It was interesting and it grabbed me, but it's very different already to what I was expecting. It seems to be set in a sort of modern era. There was mention of like a laptop and things, and it's definitely magic. There's still magic in it, but I don't know. I was getting like Victorian vibes and I was excited for that. So the modern stuff kind of threw me off a bit, especially because they're doing like needlepoint and stuff, and like I do cross stitch, but like I don't know, some of it is just strange, but we'll see. I will keep reading this and maybe later I will decide to DNF it, but right now it has grabbed me. But the one I think grabbed me the most was Shielded. Honestly, it wasn't even that unique of a start. I've read this start so many times, but it was just nice to be in something that I was like, okay, I can kind of imagine where this is going to go from here for at least, you know, the next little bit, and then it may take me completely, you know, in a complete other direction. But for now, I'm interested enough to grab onto it and continue. So I think I'm going to do that one. Honestly, I feel like I might even read this tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it has definitely grabbed my attention so far. So that is it. Those are the ones that I'm going to get rid of. Those are the two that I'm going to keep. I honestly don't feel too bad about getting rid of these because my TBR is pretty wild after October. So I'm happy to have a few off there that I'm just not going to read. There's no point keeping them if I've tried them, and yeah. I am happy with the decision. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear if you've read any of these and what you thought of them. And that's it. I will see you all next time. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for watching. Bye.